Good morning on this beautiful spring morning. We're getting towards the end of May, and I want to show you what I'm doing out here in the gardens. So I have these tarps. So here is a tarp. This is a garden size area. This is a common size of a garden area that would be a 15-minute garden a day. And this would produce a lot of food for a family. With really tight, good management, this could produce 80% of the food for a family of 3 or 4 people. So I'm going to show you this up close, what I'm doing and why. This is a silage tarp. I know ranchers and farmers who produce silage for their cattle. Silage is just a food that cattle eat. So they will chop something like alfalfa or corn, other kinds of forages, triticale, and they will chop it up, and then they have great big trucks full of the chopped material, and then they put it in a pile, they crush it down to remove the oxygen from it, and then they will cover it with a tarp, and then the silage will ferment and it feeds the cattle. That is not what I'm doing. I'm just explaining to you what a silage tarp is. If you look at the edge of this tarp, it's white on one side and it's black on the other side. And sometimes you want the black side up, sometimes you want the white side up. If you have the black side up, the temperature underneath the tarp will get hotter than if you have the white side up. So I put the black side up so that it will get hot underneath and kill the plants underneath. Now if you look out here, it looks like a lawn that needs to be mowed. This is actually a garden area with an amazing amount of weeds that are growing. This was a garden that was tilled last year, and now the weeds are coming in like crazy. This will be one of the gardens for my 17-week boot camp students. And so there are 4 areas that have a tarp on them here on around the greenhouse area. So each student gets assigned a garden area. So this has been on this field for about 3 weeks, and then but it will be on the garden for about 6 weeks before we take it off. So the students will have an area that has been killed out, and that's what we want. We want to kill out the grasses and just all the vegetation, and this will do it. So let's take a look under this tarp and see what's happening. So I'm just gonna lift this. Oh man, I'm getting old. Okay, so I've moved that out of the way, and I'm gonna lift this up, and we're gonna just see what it looks like underneath. So I've moved that back, and you can see that the grass is dying. There's still a lot of green in there, but it's dying. So another couple of weeks of having this tarp on here, it cuts out the light and it creates an area where the grass is dead. So we want this to be dead, and then the students can get their gardens in here. So we will move the pallets and the stones off of here, and we will roll this up nice and neat so we can use it again later, and then they can start in on their garden in here. So this is this is one way to start a garden, and it's a good way to start a garden because it helps you to manage your weeds. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back. And now the pallet goes back on to keep the wind from blowing it away. That's why we have it weighted down. So hopefully this helps you to kill things that are growing in your garden so that you're able to plant